Can I show you how to be very present with very little effort? I'm going to ask you two questions to make it make a little more sense. So, if I were to ask you, are you aware that you're alive? You'd probably say, yeah, that's super obvious. And there's no focus required. It's just this easy knowing. And if I were to ask you, are you aware that you can see? Same thing. Yeah, I can see. You don't need to focus on your vision. You just know. So if I were to ask you, are you aware that you're aware? You might pause for a second, but then realize, yeah, I guess I am. And in that recognition, you find yourself being very aware. But you're not focusing on anything. You're not really trying. It's just this open, relaxed knowing of awareness with very little effort. And that recognition alone, that recognition of awareness, is all you need really to be present. And so just as you can't see your eyes, you can only be aware that you are seeing. You can't see your awareness. You can't look at it or hear it or touch it. You can only be aware of it. All right, so we spend our whole lives focusing on what's in our awareness that we don't really notice the awareness itself. And once you become aware of awareness, it's so much easier to be present because awareness is our natural state. All right, we've always been aware and you always will be. It's this thing in the background that you haven't really noticed. All right, so once we stop focusing on things, awareness just kind of returns to itself. Awareness is the opposite of focus. And so even if this is your first time, it's very easy to be super present for 2 to 5 seconds, but eventually a thought will come up, and that's normal. It's going to happen. But what happens is we're resting in this awareness, and then a thought comes up, and our awareness kind of contracts onto this thought. It's a contraction, it's a focus. And so all you got to do to let it go is just remember your awareness, and then relax your focus, and then just return to that knowing that you are aware already, that this awareness was already in the background, and you're just returning to it. And so just stay in that knowing all the time, and you're going to be really present with very little effort. And that knowing is not like other knowledge. It's not knowledge of an idea. It's just pure knowing of being. It's knowing of awareness. It's awareness being aware of itself. So most methods of being present require focusing on something. So we'll use the breath as an example. So we focus on the breath, and then a thought comes up, and then we focus on that. And then we go back to the breath. And then a thought comes up, and then we focus on that. And so you might be wondering, why do I have a wait for the thoughts? Because it still takes effort, concentration to engage in a thought. It's very little because thoughts are very interesting and easy to pay attention to, but there is still focus and attention required to be with the thought. So instead of this focus, when you return to awareness, you just let go of all focus and you drop all the weight, and you just return to that knowing of being aware, that relaxed easiness. And then when a thought does come up, you see it, and then you just relax. So instead of focus, it's kind of attention, relax. Attention, relax. And so you're spending much more time relaxing. And over time, you realize that it actually takes more effort to engage in a thought than it does to be in awareness. So it actually becomes easier to just relax into your awareness, and there will become a point sometimes where it's thinking is actually more work, and you're like, I'd just rather not. It's easier to just rest in my natural state of just being. So when you're caught up in your thoughts and your feelings, ask yourself, what's aware of this? And that question will return you to an awareness of your awareness. Awareness will know itself again. And the more you observe your mind and your feelings and everything, and just kind of ask yourself, what is aware of this? And you just be more aware that you're aware of things. All things will just kind of turn into objects in awareness. Even the body, the mind, our feelings, everything. It's just things occurring within awareness. And so you naturally just kind of stop identifying with all of it so much, and you just watch. Life becomes this show, and it's easy. Life just kind of lives itself. It isn't hard to feel something. Once you become aware that you are feeling it, you become aware of the awareness that's watching it, then you're able to just kind of sit and let it happen. You don't identify with it. For example, if you take a cold shower and you get in and your body starts huffing and puffing, all that, if you just be aware of that, you don't identify with it, then it's just this thing that's happening. It's just there's this body here that's, and you're just watching, and it doesn't bother you. And the same thing with pain and hunger and anything. You just be aware of it without having all these thoughts about it. It just is. It's just this show. It's this dance. It's this play of the universe. So in life, we have to focus on things. And so applying awareness to life is finding that balance between awareness and focus. And so I need to give some focus to grabbing this and squeezing that, putting that. But it's very light. It's a very open, just relaxed focus. And I'm kind of taking this observer perspective. It's almost as if I'm just watching this body wash this dish. I have kind of a general awareness. There's no need to really hone in and make it this exercise of focus and really listen to the bubbles and all the feelings. It doesn't need to be that intense. Just kind of keep this openness, this ease while you're doing things, and maintain that observer perspective. So as you're going through life and observing things and observing yourself living, kind of get a sense for like, where is this observer? Because for a long time, for me, it was kind of in my head, behind my eyes. And that made things more difficult because as I was doing things, I'm splitting my attention between that point and whatever I'm doing. But when you become more aware of your mind and everything it does and its perceptions, that belief that the observer is in my head, that's just a perception. That's not a reality. And so once I became aware of that, I realized that that was just an ingrained way of seeing things and not the truth. Then that kind of started to dissolve. And my awareness just kind of spread and just joined everything. And whatever I was doing, just my awareness was all there. I wasn't splitting it between there and here anymore. And I was able to just be, well, now I am able to just be much more present with what I'm doing, but also with a little bit of openness. Okay, so that one takes a little bit more awareness of awareness and some practice to get down. But above all, just return to that knowing you are aware. You always have been. You always will be. You do not need to train yourself to be more aware. Just recognize it. You already are aware. Stay with that knowing. It's relaxed. It's open. All right, whenever you close in on a thought or a feeling or some made up problem in your head, just relax back to that knowing of awareness. And you're going to be pretty present.